I managed to beat the rain. Kind of sprinkling here. Where I just came from, though, behind me, it was coming down heavy. So I got a little damp. I mean, you know, you get a little wet and it's a little chilly, but it felt good. I didn't get soaked, though. I wanted to, you know, my tomatoes are coming in like crazy, and I wanted to pick up some stuff to make salsa with my tomatoes. So I had to run to the store, and of course when I left, the weather was fairly decent, but right as I was leaving the store, I could hear thunder, and I was like, oh boy, I better get rolling. Here's the thing. I need the rain here to water my garden. This morning I put the sprinkler on the garden just to, you know, give it a drink because it was dry. You know, when you see your plants starting to struggle a little bit, you know it's time to give them some water. I could use the rain here, but I mean it's barely sprinkling here. It's barely spitting here. Oh well, that's what happens though, you know. Rain's everywhere else but here. Well, I guess you could say I dodged a bullet on that one. Some people that ride in adverse weather conditions like to wear that like a badge. And you know, I've gotten that before too, like, you know, what are you, afraid to ride in the rain? No, not at all. But I'm not purposefully going to go out and ride in the rain if I don't have to. I think we're going to get some more rain, but I wanted to come out and pick some of these tomatoes before it does rain. You got to dig down here for them, but they're here. I'm going to get these Romas. That one's got a little bit of a dink in it, but I'll take it. It'll be good for salsa. My water's boiling. Here's the ingredients though. I got Roma tomatoes, and these don't have a lot of juice in them. That's why they're good for making sauce or salsa and stuff. I've got some cilantro. Whenever you do salsa, that's a good flavor. Some lime to put in there. Garlic. I got some jalapenos. I don't think I'll put all of these in there, but some of them. And this whole half of onion that I'm going to put in there. And I think that's all the ingredients. We'll see how it turns out. First thing I have to do though is take these tomatoes, dunk them in the boiling water, get them down in there, and leave them in there for about a minute, and then I can pull the skins right off of them. Alright, I see some of those tomatoes have split already. So I'm just going to put them in the sink here. Let them cool down for a minute. And then I'm going to peel the skins off. You don't want the skins in your salsa, you know. It just makes kind of, you know, that chewy, thick. Nah. We're just going to have pure tomato. Take a tomato, and the skin just literally peels right off of there. Well, I put all the ingredients in there, put a little bit of sugar, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of chili powder, squeeze both of those limes in there, put a little bit of lime zest in there. Now we're going to take the lid off and see what it tastes like. Got a little sample. It's good. It's a little different, but it's good. And it's got just a little kick to it. Those 2 jalapenos that I put in there, it's just about right. And boy, did I make a mess. I'll run down the side of the thing. Good grief. Now what do I do with it? Guess I better get some jars. I can put some in the jars and go from there. Well, I managed to get quite a bit of salsa out of that batch of tomatoes, so I'm making good use out of my tomatoes. And what I'm not using, I'm giving away because people are really eager to have them. Most people that are growing tomatoes, theirs aren't even ready yet. Mine are coming in full bore. Let me revisit that all-weather riding though again. You know, I've ridden in all kinds of weather. I've ridden in horrendous downpours, thunderstorms, where the roads were just almost hydroplane. I've never ridden in a flood before, but I did ride in hail, where the hail was so thick I couldn't even ride. I had to pull off and wait for the hail to melt because it was like riding on marbles. I've ridden in some high winds. I have ridden in the winter, caught in a couple blizzards. You know, when I used to ride to work every day, that was my transportation. And, you know, you ride to work in the morning, it's 45, 50 degrees, and then as the day goes on, the temperature starts to drop, and next thing you know, there's snow flurries. Well, you're on the clock. It isn't like you can just jump on the bike and head home and beat the storm. You got to put in your 8 hours, and when the bell rings and it's time to go home, there's already 3 inches of snow on the ground. I've been there. I've done that more than once. I've ridden in fog so thick that you couldn't see the bike in front of you. Very frightening. So, you know, I don't wear that as a badge or anything. It's just that when you're a biker and you put miles on like I have and you've ridden all over the country, you're going to run into that. It's inevitable. You know, when I'm traveling and I got to make miles up in a day, and I'm going, you know, 600 miles a day, sometimes more, which I haven't done in quite a while, but in my younger years, I definitely did that. You don't stop when it rains. You keep going, and you try to beat the storm. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get wet. That's what rain gear's for. But then again, I never even liked wearing rain gear because I just felt hot and sticky when I had the rain gear on. I'd rather just get wet and dry out. Like today, you know, I just got a little damp. My shirt got a little damp from the rain. But once I got out this way, the rain had pretty much stopped. And by the time I got home, my shirt was just a little bit damp. I wasn't even wet. But I beat the rain on that one. So, I mean, I get comments sometimes, not very often, but sometimes I get comments saying, you know, that I'm a fair weather rider, that I only like to ride when the sun's shining. Dude, I am retired. I don't have to go to work anymore. I can come and go as I please. If I don't feel like doing it today, I won't. But generally speaking, I do. I push myself to just keep busy all the time. If it's raining in the morning and I've got some people to meet up with, and I look at the weather app and it looks like it's going to clear up in the afternoon, I'll get on the bike and take off in the rain. I'm not afraid to ride in the rain. But I'm 70 years old this year, and I don't have to ride in inclement weather, you know. I can make a choice to say, I don't feel like it today. I mean, really, if you're a biker, do you really want to ride in inclement weather? Do you really want to go out and ride in the snow? Do you really want to go out and ride in a pouring thunderstorm? I don't think anybody really does. If you're a biker, you just get caught in those circumstances. But, you know, if I'm sitting at home and I look outside and it's a crappy day, I got no reason to go out there and ride. Why? Why do I even want to? That's not even... If you're telling me it's pleasant to ride in the rain, if you've ever gone 65, 70 mile an hour in the rain, it feels like a million BBs hitting you, and it's uncomfortable. Not to mention, you can pour the water out of your shoes when you get home. Yeah. So I don't have to do that anymore. There are times though when it happens, and if it happens, it happens. I'm not afraid of it, you know. The other thing I get sometimes is you're not a real biker, and to me, that's just grade school stuff, you know. I mean, really, who cares what you are? If you enjoy life, if you have a motorcycle and you ride it, maybe you ride it once a week, maybe you ride it twice a week, maybe you ride it every day of the week. It doesn't make you any different than me. You know, labels are mean absolutely nothing. You know, we're all different. We all do things differently. We're never going to do things the same. We have different riding habits. Does that make us less of a biker? It's just a name. It's just a term that people use. Yeah, it, it, it's just relative to a broad spectrum that really doesn't amount to anything. Now, some guys think, you're not a biker unless you're a one percenter hardcore. Then that's a real biker. Well, no, that's just a person that's 1%. Now, here's another point to ponder. My opinion, anyways, it doesn't matter what you ride. It's that you ride. If you, it doesn't matter to me whether you ride a Honda, a Yamaha, a Kawasaki, a Victory. It doesn't matter. I'll ride with you. I don't care if you're on a crotch rocket and you want to ride with me. We can do it. It's not going to bother me. I'm not going to be offended. Now, back in the day, back in the 70s, I'm going to go back to the 70s. When Easy Riders magazine would come out, they were really pro Harley, big time. And in fact, they badmouthed any kind of rice burner. It was out of the question. If you rode a rice burner, you weren't considered a biker. I think that's almost racist in a way. But nowadays, I don't think that carries too much weight anymore. It probably does with some old hardcore bikers, but for the most part, I think if you're on a motorcycle, you're a rider. Let's go. Let's get some. Let's put our knees in the breeze, as they say, and ride and enjoy it. And even if I'm not riding with another group of bikes or with another friend that's on a bike, it's a thing where the bikes come the other way and you're supposed to give them the wave. You just put your hand down, give them the peace sign or whatever, just stick your hand out. There was a while where I never did that. I just ignored it. If somebody waved at me, I just kept going. I thought, I'm not waving at you. That's kind of goofy. But I don't know. Maybe I had a change of heart. Because everybody waves at me. Every bike that goes by, they wave. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have a change of heart. I start waving at people, and now that it just comes naturally. I see another bike coming the other way, my hand goes out and I'm waving, and I don't care what they're riding. I've even waved at some kids on a mini bike before, so good for them. Someday they're going to have a motorcycle just like the rest of us, but they got to start with something. So maybe it's a little Grom or one of those, little tiny mini motorbikes or whatever. Maybe it's a scooter, just something that they can afford right now. But eventually, they may be riding a CVO or a bagger or something. You don't know. But I wave at them all. Yeah. I'm getting soft in my old age. I don't worship my bike. I put that out there. Some people really spend too much time with their motorcycle. It's like a love affair. That thing's they got to be constantly buying parts for it, custom parts, chrome, everything's got to be perfect. and they spend all their money on their bike and they spend all their time on their bike. That's not me. My enjoyment is in the ride, just to get out and ride. And I'm thankful that my 99 FLSTF, Fat Boy, starts up for me every time. Now, I do have the starter issue. It acts up once in a while, so I think if I can get through the summer, because I've been riding a lot, and I don't want my bike to be down for even a couple days, because it's like almost every day, every other day, somebody wants to hook up and go riding. So I don't want my bike to be torn apart right now and then find out that I got to wait on parts or I can't find the right parts. I'm going to wait till winter time when it's off riding season, and then I can tear into it and see what the problem. It might be a simple fix. It might be like a simple, like the little Bendix or whatever you call it on the primary side. Then again, I might have to pull the whole starter. I don't know what I'm going to get into yet, and I don't want to start that right now because I'm still enjoying the ride, and I've got more rides coming up. So, yeah, I try to keep my bike clean. I mean, I don't spit shine it. I don't get a toothbrush in between the cooling fins or anything like some people do, but I don't have the time to put into that. I mean, look at what I got here, my property, my home and everything. I'm here by myself now. I don't have anybody to help me with anything. So I'm maintaining my property, I'm maintaining the house, I'm taking care of my pets, I'm tending to other family things. So I'm staying real busy, and I just don't have the time to spend all day, spit shining my Harley. But I do like it clean, I do like it shiny, I don't like it trashed, and I think just a little bit, sometimes I just wipe it down with a dust cloth, with maybe some F11 on there, just to try to get a little gleam back in it again. But it could probably use a real good once over, with some chrome polish, some aluminum, a little bit of rubbing on that too. What it boils down to, it's just a machine. It's prone to break. You can't trust it. It's just a piece of inanimate steel, rubber, oil, fuel, wires. That's all it is, And I found that, even like the bike show I went to last week, there was hundreds of bikes there, and everybody's bike is different. It's like a candy store. I mean, every variety you could think of, every color you could possibly think of, and every person takes pride in their specific bike. But you know what? In the end, nobody really cares. You might spend thousands of dollars on your bike to make it like a showroom, one-of-a-kind, custom chopper that nobody's ever seen before. People are going to look at it and just walk away. And what do you gain from that? I don't know. Maybe there's something into it that I'm missing, but some of these guys don't even ride them because they're too pretty, Not me. Mine's ridden. Mine's got scratches in it, some dents in it. It's got some road grime on it. It might even, if you wipe your finger underneath the case, it might come out with a little bit of black grit on there, oil. But that's because I ride it, and that's the way it is. Well, cats, appreciate you supporting my channel. If you like my videos, give me that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel and continue to join us on this journey. I'm going to have to go buy some Tostitos, some corn chips to dip into my salsa, because that sounds like a good snack. Until next time, cats, I will catch y'all later.